Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Fiancé Season 11, Episode 11, Love's True Colors. So we're just going to get on into it. Let's start with, I want to start with freaking Sean and Aaliyah. Now Sean, I'm not liking him no more. I thought he was okay at first, but I can't with him now. He really does not care for Aaliyah. He really doesn't, because we seen him like they're on a trip to go visit family members and have their little engagement party, and they're meeting with family members and his mom and everything, Now Aaliyah is so happy to meet his mom. I think they met before, and and I guess that reunion was pretty special to Aaliyah because Aaliyah said that his mom was really nice to her and so forth. But one of the family members had asked, I think it was the mom had asked Sean, are you 100% happy in this relationship? And he was like, no, I'm not 100% happy, but who is 100% happy? And I'm just like, dude, if you're not 100% happy, then why are we doing this? Why are we wasting our time here? Because I understand this transition for Aaliyah is a little bit much for him and stuff, but it's still the same person. Who cares if Aaliyah was Douglas before and now is Aaliyah and stuff and everything? You still fell in love with the same person, just a different persona. And so now they're getting ready to go to the engagement party. And now Aaliyah's taking a long time and getting ready, putting on makeup. They were really, really late and stuff. I think there's a habit forming here with some of these 90 days, just being late to important things. But they show up, everybody's excited. On the way, also Sean likes to make a lot of jokes, a lot corny jokes that Aaliyah just doesn't fully understand. And Aaliyah told him I don't fully understand your little corny jokes, and then they're not really all that funny at times either, and everything. And because he'll make jokes about if it doesn't work, I could just ship her back to Brazil. Or when he was with the family members at the party, he was like, if it doesn't work, then they could come and take her back to Brazil. That's not funny. That's really not funny. Y'all put in all this time and money into the paperwork to bring her over here, and you're gonna make jokes about that. Plus, and nowadays too, with the immigration stuff, that and everything, and the ICE starting to deport American citizen babies now and everything. So his little jokes ain't funny. But Leah meets his kids, and they were nice to him. I guess Sean's daughter had asked Aaliyah what pronouns do you want me to use to you? I want to be, basically politically correct. And she said, her, and she and her, or whatever, and everything. So, the family likes Aaliyah and everything, but their only concern is, the original concern, with this transition, is her transition fully going to be too much for him and stuff. But I think Aaliyah is there for the right reason. It's just that Sean isn't. And he even said, if he had more time, he would have more time. Okay, that's fair enough. But you're making this girl really uncomfortable, especially by not telling everybody that you're in a relationship with her. But at the same time, did they not watch Love in Paradise? Who knows? So yeah, that was Sean and Aaliyah. The next couple I'm going to talk is freaking Sarper and Shekinah. So we left off with them last week with meeting Shekinah's sisters and everything, and talking about what happened the first time and all that stuff. Well, they finished that conversation, and it went well. Everybody hugged at the end and everything. No need to fully dive deep into that and everything. Shekinah did point out, because Sarper had said that a lot of men act like this or whatever, and Shekinah said not always, and it doesn't make it right either. And he said that he's trying. He did apologize to Shariah from the first meeting, how that meeting went and everything. And they talked about him, Sarper basically getting his anger under control and everything and stuff and whatever. And he said he's working on it. So they pack, and so they finish up that conversation, and they all leave. Everybody's happy. So they fly back from Montana back to LA, and then a thing shows a week later. I guess Sarper and Shekinah got into a huge fight, and Shekinah recorded the fight on her phone and stuff, and played the recording to the producers. And like, I guess like what happened was she came home from work, and he was in a bad mood, and then just a lot of words were shed, and so he left. And he left for a little bit. And Shekinah had mentioned that, she's been making a lot of sacrifices. She said she's even moving her workstation out of the kitchen, to another spot so, they can finally use that spot or whatever and everything. And she doesn't feel like Sarper is appreciative of that. So we seen Sarper talk to somebody in his family, talked about the fight that they had and everything. And he said he was like basically this close to rebooking his trip back to Turkey. A flight back to Turkey and stuff and everything, but he was like, Sarper, don't do anything repulsive. So he feels like, if me and Shekinah are gonna work, like we need to talk. If it doesn't, then it's basically see ya. So we're gonna have basically a preview of next week, the confrontation, the aftermath of what happened. And I'm just like, it's just not like a Sarper and Shekinah season without their big blowout when they leave. Because Shekinah even mentioned that in the previous times that when they had a fight, she would leave and everything. But this time she can't leave because she's not leaving her own home. So this time Sarper just left for a little bit. So yeah, like that, I was just saying that they were growing on me, but now they're going back to the old habits and old Sarper basically. And everything. So we'll see how that plays out. So that was Sarper and Shekinah. And the next couple I want to talk is Greg and Joan. So Greg and Joan, we didn't address the elephant in the room about Joan being disrespectful to Greg's mother. But Greg and Joan are basically starting wedding planning. And they're really on a tight budget because Greg is still not working. They want to have their wedding in the backyard of Greg's mom's house. It's a big yard. He wants the chickens to run free and all that. And the mom is just like, that's just a lot for me and everything. Because we got to clean, we got to get it all organized and stuff. But Greg and Joan are feeling like, okay, well, that's understandable, but we have no money. So Greg's mom said that, well, I know this hall that we can go check out and everything. So they decided to go check out this hall where possibly had the wedding at. And, it was a couple $1,000, but Joan had said that, Greg still got to pay $5,000 for the dowry. And the mom is just like, that's just ridiculous. We understand it's the culture, but that's just ridiculous. And Greg had even asked Joan, if we got married in Uganda, where would the cows be at? And she said in the parking lot. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right, and probably in that culture. So they still got to figure that out. So they go check out this wedding venue. It was a beautiful place and everything. It had an open bar and everything, and all that. And Greg and Joan admitted it was beautiful, but it's still a little pricey. So what are we gonna do? And they said that they weren't trying to be ungrateful that the mom was looking out for them in this situation, but but the mom just wants the best. So I'm not mad at the mom in this situation. I'm not mad at all. She's trying. If I was her, I wouldn't want all those people in my house, in my yard like that for this wedding. I would rather do it at a hall and stuff and everything. So I'm not mad at it. I'm with the mom 100% on this one. With it 100%. Greg needs to really step it up, quit making excuses, and go get work and everything, and take care of his woman. It's that simple. Now, we see in the previews that he's taking her to New York and everything. And he was like, yeah, we're on a budget, but that doesn't give us. We can still enjoy life, and that's understandable. They need a break from all of that and everything. But if you're on a tight budget, don't overspend and everything. Just saying. So that was Greg and Joan. The next couple I want to talk is Matt and Amini. We didn't see Annie in this episode. We just focused on Matt and Amini. So we left off last week with Matt and Amini having their conversation, and Amini told Matt that Annie likes her more and is more connected to her than him. And that kind of upset him because, like, now he feels like the third wheel in this, like, and I felt for him. I really did. So he was like, nobody can hurt me as much as she did in that moment for not telling me right away, or either one of them telling me right away. So Matt wakes up. He calls his best friend who's been in a polyamorous relationship before, and told him what happened basically. And the friend just said that that's just not good, and that y'all need to basically talk and everything. So after that conversation, Amini wakes up, and she noticed that Matt was not in the bed, and she saw him out on the phone and stuff and everything. She's like, he's probably talking crap about me to family or friends and everything. So they go out to the beach and everything, and they have a conversation. And, Amini said that, Annie, it's not that she don't like you, she just not 100% into you, basically. And Matt just feels like, like if we're all supposed to be in this together, in just a couple weeks ago, the conversations got basically flipped. Just a couple weeks ago, it was Amini telling Matt that we're in this together and everything. Now it's the other way around. Now Matt's saying to Amini basically the same thing, basically. And they basically need to spend more time together because yeah, I still feel like Annie is playing games. She's playing both of them. She's lying to both of them. She don't know what she wants. And it's just messed up and everything. I think Annie is real. Like Annie seems like one of those people who, who's a likable person, but you get too invested in, she'll ghost you. I've seen that plenty of times with people. She seems like one of those people that I feel like it's just gonna ghost both of them at some point, basically. It may not be like right now, but it could come and everything. And it could come with no explanation and stuff. So judging by the previews of next week, it looks like that they're going to set up Matt and Annie to go on a date. Just the two of them, so they can rebuild their spark and everything. And, being in this throuple, there's just... it's fine that you want to be in the throuple, but I don't know, they just don't, nobody just seems to know what they're doing right now. Nobody is following the rules 100%. Nobody is communicating with each other directly and everything, except for when it's the three of them. They do it by two, but they don't do it just all three. So yeah, so Matt and Amini had their conversation on the beach and everything. And, Matt just said, I don't want to keep, going through this like this and everything. So we'll see how that plays out next week. So that was Matt and Amini. And the last couple I want to talk is freaking Stevie and Maddie. So Stevie and Maddie, last week, as we know, they got engaged or re-engaged when Maddie surprised her at that resort. And this episode, they want to go check out wedding venues and stuff, but they had to go meet with the father again, and they want to show the father the ring and all that. So Stevie and Maddie go see Stevie's father, and I guess he was trying to get a hold of Stevie, but she didn't hear her phone ring or whatever. And immediately the dad thought something fully happened to Stevie. And I've been, hearing that the dad bleeds red, white, and blue and everything, and then has certain opinions on things. I was skeptical about him when I first heard that. But, he's grown on me. But then when he said that, I was a work. Like, I thought you were not alive or something. Like, okay, let's just not be too over dramatic, bro. But anyway, they want to get the blessing of him walking Stevie down the aisle when they get married. So, like, they showed the father the ring, and and Maddie and Stevie was just like, well, didn't you see this? He was like, yeah, but I didn't see it on the ring this soon. I didn't think he was gonna have it this soon. And so, yeah, it's soon, all right. So they asked, like, are you gonna walk me down the aisle? And the dad finally said yes. If that makes you happy, I'll walk you down the aisle. Okay, cool, and everything. So Stevie gives her dad a hug. She says she doesn't hug people except for her father. And she asked Maddie to shake his hand and everything. And Maddie was a little scared too, but he did it anyway. So now later they go and they also go to check out like a wedding vineyard because they're moving up the wedding because they want to save some money. And so they check out this wedding vineyard and they meet with Stevie's friend who's in charge of it and stuff and everything. I think her name was Claire. And so, they check it out and everything seems to be going okay. But as we all know, Stevie is a nude painter. She likes to paint people nude and stuff, mostly women. Well, somehow it got slipped out that the wedding planner, Claire, was one of Stevie's clients, and Stevie had painted Claire nude before. Now, when she told Maddie that, Maddie didn't take that very well. Maddie still feels like just because Stevie does that she might be bisexual. And he said that, like, like it's really, like, not acceptable in his country. He also said with the wedding planning and all that weddings in Iran are not co-ed, which is wow, which is wild to me and stuff. Like, so he's just trying to get used to this. So but when he heard that she painted Claire nude before, he was again skeptical about it. So they go out and have a conversation, and like Stevie's just like, I already done it. Like, it's already been done. Maddie feels like she should have told him about it. Well, like Stevie had mentioned, like, well, Maddie, like, it's not like I paint guys. If I paint guys, then that would be a problem because I have respect for you. I've always done this. This is no different. And there's no different for me, like, getting a picture of somebody or somebody coming over to actually do it and everything. But Maddie feels like Stevie just like with doing all this just has like a lot of like might be a little bit of bisexual. And he keeps saying that, like, you keep giving me a vague answer, like, are you bi or not? And Stevie's just like, I'm not having this conversation. Like, stop it now, basically, and everything. And Maddie's like, you keep giving me these vague answers when I ask that. Like, are you bi or not? She's like, no, I'm not, and everything. Let's go. I mean, he still ain't believing it, but it is what it is. So, yeah, Maddie's culture, like, 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 it's like, I mean, I don't know, like I really feel for him because, like, his country, they cannot do anything. Like, I mean, what are you allowed to do in the country of Iran? I may have to look more of that up because, like seriously, our normal is illegal over there. So he is like every little thing he's just adjusting to because it's just not normal for him. Our norm is illegal over there. So, but now as for the bisexual thing, though, I don't think Stevie's bisexual, but but it gave me I questioned a couple of times because she was giving him vague answers when he asked before, and all that. So, but I don't think Stevie is. I think this is just a little petty argument to discuss more. So it is what it is. So yeah, that was Stevie and Maddie. And that was the end of the episode. We did not see Mark and Mina in this episode, or Jessica and Juan, which is weird. Why Jessica and Juan they haven't been on multiple episodes. Like, they're rarely on the TVs now these days. Like, come on now. I think they'll be back next week along with Mark and Mina. But yeah, we didn't see Mark and Mina or Jessica and Juan in this episode. But anyway, guys, that is the end of my review. I'll be back on tomorrow to recap the final part of the tell-all, the last resort, and everything. And it's done. It's done. It's done. We're done. Like, I'm tired of it. We're done. We're done. So yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow to do that. And then I'm going to do my rewatches of Catfish starting next week, since Last Resort will be done, and then we still got a month before the new 90-day Hunt for Love comes out. So be on the lookout in that for some more content in the meantime. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for all the support, all the subscribers. I love you guys dearly. You're helping this channel grow. You guys have been nothing but respectful to me in this channel. Share this channel with more friends and everything. Like, I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So like, we're at 76 right now. We need 24. So come on, guys, we can do it. Y'all know me at this time on the Nathan Temp 2 page. Like, me, I call it as I see it. I'm not the best YouTuber. I'm not trying to be the best, but I do want to be good, to bring out good content for you guys and good critiques of these reality dating shows that I cover. So I thank you to all my subscribers and everything that have been with me from the beginning and stuff and everything. So I love you guys so much. Keep on watching. There's more to come. So I love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, y'all.